Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to Career Mode. It's about time. So I'm just showing you again that we are still going off with the R&D upgrades in durability.
Time at Spa, one of the mightiest tracks on the Formula One calendar. Long straights, up and downhill, Eau Rouge as well. This track isn't for the faint-hearted. So, could be a tasty one today then, Ants. We've got all the ingredients, that's for sure. Treacherous conditions, an ever-changing racetrack, and one or two cars just behind the pace setters who maybe, just maybe, fancy a bit of an upset after a good performance from them in free practice.
And the question has to be, of course, what is that circuit going to look like in 10 to 15 minutes from now? If you think the rain's going to get worse, then you have to be straight out when the lights go green to find whatever grip you can. But if it eases off, then you're better off waiting, saving the tyres, and going out at the perfect moment. The other thing that comes with these conditions? Traffic, and the lack of visibility that comes from sitting in the spray. It's going to be a constant problem, and I expect to see a lot of frustrated drivers with ruined laps out there today.
So Anthony Davidson there being the optimist he always is, and just going to show you guys the quick setup, the front wings, throttle, camber, all of that good stuff, suspension, brakes, tyres and weight distribution, all that good stuff. So if you guys want to run this setup, you are more than welcome. I don't claim it to be my own, I borrowed it off somebody else. So let's jump out into qualifying, and before we even got a timed lap under our belts, the back end just stepped out on us.
I think my nose is damaged.
Damage to the front wing. We're seeing it.
So yeah, that was very clever of us. Front wing damage repairs, so we're going to skip ahead on that time and jump back out. We were very lucky there to keep it out of the barriers and not do any serious damage. And by the time we came out, actually the track was drier, so I guess you could say it worked out for us in a certain way. Just jumping through qualifying really, and yeah, not exactly the session we'd hoped for. A bit of a rough start to it, and just in general,
light rain is here to stay.
Spa was just not working for us in general, and yeah, I don't know whether it was the setup we were running, whether it's a dry setup and it really doesn't work in the wet, whether it was just us being out of practice. I really don't know. Yeah, it didn't go so well, and then we had a similar case where the back end stepped out on us.
Yeah, I made contact.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay.
And basically that, you know, that was it for us. That was the end of qualifying.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Vettel, Felipe Massa and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Perez, Grosjean and Nico Hülkenberg, Sainz, Kvyat, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, a Renault, Alonso, Stoffel van Dorn and Pascal Wehrlein, Ericsson and Kevin Magnussen rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, don't worry about making places into one, it's far too tight. Concentrate on a clean exit so you get good momentum down the camel straight.
So here we go then for Spa. We're going to get off the line nicely with the formation lap. Yeah, not an ideal qualifying. I can't remember if we changed.
Okay, how was the pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
I can't remember if we changed out engine parts or not. Lining back up on the grid then, Lewis Hamilton sits on pole, then that's Vettel alongside him, Bottas behind him and Raikkonen in fourth, if I remember correctly. Oh no, it looks like a Red Bull maybe. 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are off for a return to career mode. And it's a decent start from us, not too much drama, we don't seem to be under threat. Dive up the inside on the brakes, keeping it nice and clean, just about. Bit of contact with Grosjean, not too much. Trying up the inside of Perez, be careful because we know what Perez can do on this, and there's damage to the front wing. The damage thing pops up there, you can see. Yeah, not great. It doesn't look too bad right now.
You've knocked the front wing. The damage only looks minor, but you'll need to take it easy to avoid making the problem worse.
Me and Jeff are on the same page. Damage doesn't look too bad. I don't think it will affect handling too much, but I will probably have to get it changed at the pit stop. The way you do that is if there's a little bit of damage on your front wing, they won't change it unless you click yes on the MFD that pops up. If it's still green, or even if I think it's like a light yellow colour, they still won't change it until it's orange, or if not red. So yeah, you can either force them to change it or leave it if the car's not too bad, which is quite nice, I suppose.
Nice start.
And yeah, not exactly an ideal start really, but we are up into the points. You can see we're running the super softs in the first stint, and then we're going to go to the ultra softs in the second stint. So if we can keep with these guys, we'll probably jump them in the pit stop. Bit of contact with Grosjean there, nice little thud as he comes across, but I think we're going to just squeeze past him. Yep, absolutely, nicely done. And it's going to be a case of managing that fuel, because if you run the fuel efficiency program in the R&D section of practice and you score an optimal score, then we'll start you with low fuel, which isn't great because there are ways to cheat through that. So you have to make sure that you're careful with the fuel use, especially at circuits like this where you're going to be wanting to put it up into rich revs a lot to get past on the DRS straights and things like that, and the Kemmel straight. We're going to have a look up the inside of Perez, perhaps up the straight if we can stay in his slipstream. Heading down towards Eau Rouge, which is just unreal in these cars. You can just take them at full throttle. Let's have a look. I think we're probably too far away. Maybe. He looks very close with the Toro Rosso in front of him. No DRS, obviously, it's only lap 2. They're side by side. Is there contact? There may be a bit of contact. There is contact. And we're up into P8, chasing down Verstappen. Whew, not bad. Not bad. Jumping ahead to lap 4, and we're actually in P7 now as pit stops have begun. It's quite a long lap around Spa, so there's only 11 laps in these 25% race distances.
3.3 seconds.
Thanks, Jeff. Which means pit stop and things like that happen within a very short time frame, really. I mean, you're talking, you could be in the pits on lap 3, which just seems ridiculous, but there's only 11 laps, so bit of a spin as we come across the curb there. Back end steps out on us. We've actually seen that happen before in things like the classic races, the classic car races, if you just get up on the curb, and we've just basically lost all the positions we were hoping to gain. And now we sit behind and amongst the people who have made their pit stops already. Great, and now we've got gearbox problems. So yeah, this race isn't going to be anything particularly special. We might try and finish in the points. A little bit of contact with Ricciardo there, but nothing too major. I think we're actually boxing this lap. We are, so we dive down the inside of him, try and keep clean going into the pit lane. Yeah, what a race so far. I mean, just problem after problem. The spin didn't help. Full change of the ultra softs. Held for a little bit of time in the pit stop, but nothing too major. Back out, and we're down in 15th. So I think, even though we're having to save fuel now, and you can see we're running in lean revs, I think we're not going to get any points in this race. But if we can at least try and finish within the team objective, keep the team happy, then that will be okay. But it's not exactly ideal considering where we started on the grid and where we were after lap 1. I mean, we were sitting right in the points.
This is your final lap of the race.
Thanks, Jeff. We were sitting right in the points, and we absolutely screwed that one up, didn't we? But we're right on the back of Kvyat now on the last lap, so I wonder if we'll be able to get him in the DRS straight. I think it was actually Kvyat who came into contact with Perez, but I might be wrong. Yellow flag, so someone's retired. It looks like it could be Stroll, and it's probably, an engine failure. It is indeed Lance Stroll. So we are actually now up into 13th. We've fulfilled the team objective, but yeah, it's not good enough for me. I mean, we're setting fastest laps. This could have been us challenging someone like Ricciardo or Massa or someone in the in the top 10, or even I think our teammates are ahead of us as well, which just really isn't great. I mean, if you get beaten by a teammate, that's really not good at all. But yeah, I'm showing you this beautiful circuit, and there's really not much else to say. I mean, this race was a bit of a disaster. Not really the return to career mode I hoped for, and what can you do, really? There's nothing you can do about it. Valtteri Bottas takes the race win. He's actually fairly strong in this career mode, as is Raikkonen. Maybe it's a finish thing, I don't know. But I'm going to leave you with the rest of this, guys, and I will see you for the next race, which I believe is the Italian Grand Prix, Monza, and that will be out tomorrow. So I look forward to it then. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I'm sorry this wasn't the performance I was hoping for the return to career mode. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.
Massive apologies to the team, but surely I didn't do it on purpose. I'm really sorry.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the Drivers' Table. Valtteri Bottas takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result.